Hello, I am your oh so serious one who sometimes cares a little bit too much what you think. I'm Michelle Welch.
And I'm the not so serious one. Don't give a damn what you think. Your host, Roger Welch. So, what's up today, Michelle?
Well, thank you first of all to Soul Wet. Today we're really excited to have our friend Carrie Paris.
Whoop whoop.
I know, whoop, whoop, on the show with us. First of all, we're so excited to have you on after all your world travels, Carrie. I'm going to just read your bio and then we're going to get right into it
Right.
because we have so much we want to talk about. Carrie Paris, MA, you guys. Carrie Paris was in the first class to receive a master's in the cultural study of cosmology and divination from the University of Kent in the UK. Her ongoing research is focused on community, ritual, magic, and the art of manifestation through target magic. Carrie indie authored numerous Magpie Oracle casting kits, the Relative Tarot, the legendary Lenormand, Siren Song Lenormand, and co-created the award-winning Lenormand Revolution deck. Carrie has also taught and co-authored a series of popular online courses that explore mediumship and ancestral communication through casting. Carrie considers herself a global citizen and enjoys teaching her craft in many countries and online from her home in Northern California. Hello and welcome.
Hey, thank you. It's so good to see you guys again. I adore you too. So it's so much fun to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh,
We
thank
adore you too. We love your hat.
Well, you know where I got this, right?
Yes. You want to tell them, Roger?
So, we were in New York hanging out. I had my nice Longhorn hat on. And next thing I know, Carrie's got it on her head.
Because we threw it to
Like
her,
magic.
right?
Yeah. It's like, come take a selfie.
Right.
Don't turn your back on me.
Yes.
So I guess I want to know, did you wear that in Switzerland at all? Did it make the trip?
It did not, I'm sorry to say. I had to wear a witch's hat while I was there because I was speaking in a witch's museum.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. So are we going to, I don't know about the order, but I'm so excited to hear about that trip. Can we just talk about that first? Can you just tell us?
Absolutely.
I've been
Yeah.
dying. I really didn't want to bug you, but I've been dying to hear about that trip, and I didn't even know when you were getting back. So can you just tell us about that?
Yeah. It's such a small world. I noticed that it was your birthday while I was there, and it was so fun to be able to wish you a happy birthday while I was over there, and
Thank you.
know what you were doing in the U.S. and the way you were celebrating. It was great, and double happy birthday, double fortune to you, by the way.
Thank you.
I was invited to speak at a conference called Tarot Fest that is hosted by Kim Arnold, who actually runs the Tarot London conference every year. She gets together biannually with this marvelous woman and her husband, Wicca and Biba, and they run a witches museum in a castle in Switzerland, which is in a little town just outside of Zurich. And so I was one of the speakers that was lucky enough to go and do a presentation there, two presentations. One was an all-day workshop for her coven, and then the next one was a shorter talk with the Milagro oracles. But it was fantastic. I mean, it was just like I was in a castle in a witches museum in Switzerland, divining with all of these really wonderful people from all over the world.
Wow.
Had a great time.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It was.
Did
Yeah.
a lot of people attend?
Yeah, it was packed. I think they only let, I can't remember how many in there. They have a limit, It's like,
Right.
there's a conference in like Reader Studio, I think their limit is 200 and they always sell out, right?
Right.
And there's a conference, the Kingston Tarot Lenormand Conference, which I'm speaking at in November in Kingston, Ontario, and she only lets 100 people in there. She has a cap so that everybody can, and that's Marilyn Shannon, by the way, so that everybody can just have a really relaxed time together, and it's more intimate that way. It's really, really sweet. So this was like that, there was just so many people that were invited that could attend, and that was incredible. And after that, we went into so France is just on the other side of Switzerland, right? The French side. And so we took a train into Geneva, got picked up by a couple of friends. You know, Shelley Carter from Elora, she puts on a divination event every May in Elora, Canada. And my friend Giselle, who I work for in China whenever I'm in China, they met me in this chateau in France that is pretty old. And there's a chapel inside of the chateau where there are these mosaic tarot cards that are based on the Oswald Worth tarot deck. And to give you an idea, they're about, yay wide and about, 3 or 4 feet high, each of them. And the detail of the mosaics are just phenomenal. I mean, just wisps of hair and bird feathers and, sacred symbols, the whole thing, everything was there. And so we got to hang out there for a while and, absorb the beauty of it all.
Wow. Well, one of the things we were going to talk about tonight was divination around the world. And I think we should just skip right into that right now because it just segues right in, because you just mentioned like Switzerland, you're going to Canada, you mentioned China. So you truly are not only a global citizen, you globally speak everywhere. So tell us some of the things that are similar that you found in different countries and some of the things that you found that are different when you go to different countries.
Oh, that's a great question. I would say the most similar thing about divination is that everybody's seeking answers. Everybody wants to know something about themselves or to get some insight into their lives. So everybody's on the same page with that. But then when you kind of delve into different cultures, there's different relationships with divination because the tools are usually different, and the questions are usually different. Like in the larger cities, no matter what city you're in, by the way, the larger cities, most of the questions have to do with more competitive things, like how do I progress in my work, or how do I become more successful in what I do that would, create more of a financial gain for me. But what I've noticed that like in smaller towns, people are more interested in creativity and relationships and love and family. And then the smaller places that you go to where I think more of the introverts live, I notice there's a more of questions that are similar, that are based on things like, what's the highest road I can take, or how do I achieve sacred love or enlightenment, or how do I self-illuminate? These really, really meaningful questions. Not to say that none of the questions are meaningful. They all lead to meaningful answers, but it seems to be the pattern that I've noticed over the years through these different places.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if any, when you talk about the maybe enlightenment, for lack of a better word, if that's something that comes up through the divination. Let's talk about divination specifically.
Yeah.
Some people might use divination for that and some people might not, but I was just wondering in different countries if that's something that is used or not used for divination, if you find a difference in that.
Yeah, like a lot of countries just bypass our, we keep forgetting that, in America or in the Western culture, divination is pretty new, or most of the tools that we use are fairly new, to whereas if you're divining in China, they're thousands of years old, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times, their tools are super simple, like the I Ching, these coins that, is incredibly meaningful form of divination, and it has an ancient history behind it. And it taps you right into self-illumination and understanding. So, that's just one example of many. And then, with casting in general, I dare to say that I think it's probably the oldest form of divination that we have, because divination through casting probably started through found objects or whatever was in nature that people could collect. They would create these collection oracles out of feathers and bones and leaves and rocks and, you name it, teeth. And, they would apply meaning to each of these pieces so that when they would cast them, they would tell their stories.
Right.
Yeah. So divination it's an interesting business that we're in, isn't it?
It is.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately, like, God, it's gone so mainstream, and yet the way it started, was just simply due to somebody having probably some kind of a crisis, a personal crisis or a community crisis. And they just needed an answer that wasn't mundane. It didn't come from a mundane place.
Right.
So they casted that question out to the universe and went into receptivity so that they could receive an answer.
Right.
And, it's gone from that to, I'm sure it's gone full circle, really. We're still doing the same thing, yet now we have all these incredible tools to do it with.
Right.
We're not lacking of divination tools.
Right, which maybe means we should not be lacking in answers. But
I
maybe,
agree.
if you want to take it a step beyond that, if we really are not lacking, if we're seeking those answers, and if we have the tools, maybe there is the connection that we've all been seeking. It's if we will use the tools. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. No, I totally agree with you. And you guys are both readers. You know that most of the time, the majority of the time, when people come in for a reading, they come with the answers already in them.
Exactly.
We're just laying out these beautiful pictures and maps and casting pieces that just suss that out and bring it to the surface. It's already there.
Yeah.
They
exactly.
just need a witness.
Exactly.
I often call myself a card curator. I'm not really, I'm divining, absolutely, but also I'm curating the pictures that are on the cards,
Yeah.
So in hopes that the answers will surface.
So with all your travels and stuff and the different things, because you mentioned teeth and sticks and feathers,
Yeah.
what was the most unique, crazy thing that you ever seen somebody using for divination?
Since I've gotten into the world of casting, people have been coming out of the woodworks showing me their personal casting kits, right? And it's pretty phenomenal. Like one person showed me all of their teeth,
Their own teeth.
that they had, but then another person had things that were very personal to them. They had bones from their ancestors, which are pretty powerful in most cultures, especially in Africa. Bone throwing, the ancestral voices are in the bones, the ancestral message is in the bones. So bones, fingernails, umbilical cords, things like that are a little bit, for me. I prefer metal, that's just my personal preference. But
Travel's better too.
That's pretty wild, though. It's kind of wild to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I honor it. I totally honor it 100%. As long as it's not harvested in violent ways, then it's probably going to be a great divination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So tell us a little about. You mentioned the metal. So you said metal.
Yeah.
So that ties into your casting and to your charms, right? So
Yeah.
tell us about your charms. I think I have pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe-
Thank you.
Maybe two of each.
Maybe two of each, as Roger will say. I
love
probably
it.
have two of each. I have one that I keep in its own, the box that it came in. Then I have one of all of them that I've mixed all together. Then I have to get another one because I've mixed them all together.
You're one of those. There's,
She's got
there's
a bowl.
definitely
She's
a
got
group of people that do that.
Yeah, she's got an oblong bowl on her desk with all of them dumped in it.
I've
And
seen
they
it.
just-
It's lovely. I know. It's awesome.
Yes.
Never the same reading twice, right?
Right?
So I know you explain this a lot, but if you would, for people listening, just tell us how you got into casting and just a little bit about casting. You mentioned it being one of the oldest forms of divination. I think you mentioned that, and I believe it is one of the oldest forms of divination. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So when I was going to university, I was going with the intention that, intentions go sometimes. I was going with the intention that I was going to kind of delve into the history of tarot as divination, because besides alchemy, tarot was my first love. So, but my professor at the time, the convener of the program, said, you already know about that. Why don't you look into something else? So I started getting curious about some of the earlier forms of divination, and casting was one of those. So fast forward a few years, I made the Lenormand Revolution deck with Roz Foster. And one day I was sitting on my living room floor and I had the deck out, and I had a and I had the anchor card out from the deck, and I had a postcard that had just arrived from a friend, and there was an anchor on that. And then I had this like a charm on a kind of like those beautiful bracelets that you make, there was an anchor charm on the bracelet, and it just, everything, it was like this light bulb moment just went off, and I went, oh my gosh, I wonder if there are 36 charms that I could pair with the 36 cards in a Lenormand deck. So, I went to the great Oracle Google and found out that yes, in fact, there were. And that's how the Lenormand Magpie Oracle was created. And that just kind of caught fire.
Right.
It was ridiculous how quickly those sold, and people wanted them, and they just wanted to try it, and they wanted to know more about casting. And from there, I don't even know how many kits I've created. I think I'm up to 8, maybe 8 casting kits. Yeah, at this point.
And
and more to come. There's more to come.
And you often include the beautiful scarves with your kits to cast on the scarves. And I've taken quite a few of your classes. You've done classes here at Soultopia, and then I took yours and Andrew's class online. I was teaching. I signed up for her class, Roger. I don't know if you know this, but I signed up for a class, but I had a class at the same time.
So you were watching the class? And
Well,
taking the class?
I sort of. I watched it, but I could watch it later. You didn't have to watch it live, which is one of the great things about her class is you can. But it's fun when
Kind
you're
of like Anthony's class that you've been doing?
It's kind of like any class I've ever signed up for. I have to kind of watch it later, but I want to watch it live because you want to. That's kind of the fun of it, right? You want to see it live.
To participate,
But the beauty of it is that you can watch it later at your own timing and your own pace, which is usually what
I'd
I
rather
have to
you
do.
watch it live so I can come in and interrupt it.
Yeah, people love it when that happens, especially the teachers.
Yeah.
The last time, well, it was Anthony last time, and she stopped to talk to me. I didn't stop her.
But I'm always very fair because if you didn't pay for it, you can't watch it. But you can say hi. You can.
She kicks me out.
You can't. You're not. If you didn't pay
That's
for
really
it,
nice of you. Because there's a lot of people that don't do that.
She
Well,
mutes the
that's-
mic and then says, "Get your ass out of here."
No, I didn't say it that way, but I don't let anybody else watch it if they don't pay for it because that is stealing, right? It is.
Yep. Pirating, for sure. Pirating.
Yes, pirating. It's also known as stealing.
And bad karma.
I would
Yeah,
forget-
and bad karma.
I forget it anyway.
So let's talk a little bit. When you were in New York City at the Reader's Studio, you also you were boy, I can't get that out. You are asked to speak frequently. You are a very popular speaker, and it's because everybody. First of all, everybody just loves you. I don't think you have an enemy. Everybody loves loves you. Everybody here loves you. They're like,
She's
oh my
all-
gosh, it's Carrie Paris.
She's all right.
She's all right.
All right.
She's all right.
Because I
And
stole his hat.
but you're a good speaker and a good teacher. And so you
Thank you.
spoke on Divination Day, which was amazing at
Wasn't
Reader
it great?
Studio.
I love
Yeah.
that day.
And and you did the Milagro. You want to hold that one up? Oracle.
This one?
Yep.
And it came with a scarf. We have this here at the store. And so could you tell us a little bit about this kit?
Yeah. So, and thank you so much for what you said. That was really kind. And to all of my enemies out there, haha. So, I've always been fascinated with milagros, and I grew up with them, and I've been given gifts of them all my life. And for those who don't know, milagros are these little metal charms. Here, I'll hold one up to the camera. That are traditional Hispanic charms that do one of two things that are the most popular use of them. One is to petition a saint to help people out of a crisis. Another is for gifting to people who may be experiencing some kind of a crisis. So there's like this give and receive activity that goes on with milagros. Yeah, there they are. That's the reading cloth for them. And so traditionally, originally milagros started as paintings in Spain. And when they would, these, paintings, early 14th century, I think, I don't have the exact dates. But these early paintings would be these depictions of people saying, pretty much, please don't let this happen to me. So for the tarot readers out there, it's a very tower experience. Please don't let this tower card experience come after me. And so like, for an example, you'll see some of the older paintings where, you'll see like these huge snowballs coming off of a mountain into a schoolhouse. And all these kids are just bolting out of the schoolhouse, and there's maybe the nuns that are the teachers and the protectors of the school praying to a saint that they protect their schoolhouse and everybody in it, that this avalanche doesn't take over.
Right.
So these are there's paintings for disease and birth and love and you name it, all the topics that everybody brings to our tables as diviners. And so these paintings, when the Spaniards, they usually were held in churches, and they were kind of on a wall that was next to the saint that would take care of that particular problem.
Right.
So when the Spaniards started migrating to the Americas, they couldn't, take everything with them, especially these big paintings. So what they did is they wanted to make them more portable. And so they started using tin, and they started hammering the image onto the tin so that there's a lifted or relieved picture or suggestion of what it is that they want to protect. And as they traveled and as time went on, these milagros started getting smaller and smaller into these small tin or metal images. So a typical milagro nowadays might be, like a cart that your ox would pull that would protect your harvest, or an arm. So if you have something going on with your arm, it'll protect that. There's internal organs like lungs and kidneys and livers. There's feet, there's children, there's a man, there's a woman, there's saints, there's animals, everything that you want to see protected or you want to pray for or petition for are part of that milagro, that miracle, which by the way translates as miracle, symbols. And so inside my kit are more traditional versions of that, because they speak for today's needs and desires that people often come to our tables with. And so that's how the Milagro Oracle came about.
I love it. And one of the things, if I recall, we have one of my dearest friends living with us right now. She's from Guatemala, and her two, I say Guatemala. You say Guatemala. But she has lived with us since my third child was born, Tanner, my daughter, whose hat, that she goes to UT, whose cap, yeah, that's why we have the UT caps. And I believe you said that in Guatemala, they will be assigned a certain milagro at birth. Is that a correct recollection?
Yeah. I don't think they're called milagros there, though. I don't remember the exact name, but when a child is born in parts of Guatemala, they have something that's carved for them. And so it's usually out of a Guatemalan jade or other stones that might be available depending on the area. And that kind of helps not only serve as a form of protection for them, but also, sorry, everything's going off in my house, all my symbols, I didn't turn these off, sorry about that. But also as a way of kind of assigning them a secret name. And in that name, they're protected. If you pray using that name for their protection, it offers them more of a higher level of protection.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to ask Dina about that. I'm going to ask her about it.
Yeah, I'd be curious what whoever that is says that. I would love to know.
Did we show the scarf? How beautiful this is? Oh, can you? So this is the casting scarf that is with the milagro.
Thanks, you guys.
Kit. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Very cool.
Thanks.
So do you want to talk just briefly, or do you want to give the giveaway, and then we'll do
Let's do a giveaway.
her new deck, or her new kit?
So, first of all, we're giving away 2 Soultopia bracelets.
So
This
one is the
pretty cool,
Elton
right?
John bracelet. It's a soul celebrity bracelet, isn't it, Elton John?
That's Elton John.
Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton.
Sir.
And I love him, so
And
of
this
course.
is a black tourmaline protection.
And so it's a little mala bracelet.
Little mala bracelet.
Yeah. Black tourmaline and a little copper on it.
Beautiful.
So how do you win?
Okay, so we're watching, right, Erica? We're watching Facebook and YouTube. So the first person that can tell us,
If you're watching, I guess.
if you're watching right now, the first person that can key in and tell us what Carrie's first deck that she created was, the name of it.
Oh.
The first
deck.
the name
How
of
will
it.
they know?
You mentioned it just a little bit ago.
Did I? Okay, that's right. You're right.
I bet you
Okay.
Leslie wins because Leslie is a super fan and she wins everything.
I love her.
I know yeah.
Yeah,
She's
a
already
super
saying,
fan.
"When's Carrie
got
coming
to meet
back?"
her.
She
I got
asked me
to
about
meet
once
her.
a month. When's Carrie
When's
coming
Carrie
back?
coming?
Yeah.
So
Hi,
let us
Leslie.
know, I guess. Yeah, she's awesome. So you'll let us know.
Yes.
And in the meantime, well, tell us in the
Shoot,
meantime.
Carol Hill was fast over here.
Carol, get it?
Yeah.
Go, Carol.
Ah,
She was listening.
okay, so she won?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Carol.
Congratulations.
Way to go, Carol
Way to
Hill.
go, Carol. Okay,
Yes.
so she won the
She won 2 bracelets.
2 Soultopia bracelets. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so
maybe she'll have an Elton John like earworm moment every time she wears that.
Exactly.
I know. Have you seen Rocket Man? You haven't had time, I bet. Okay, it's really good.
You're going to have to take time, girl.
Is it good? I will.
It
I'll do that.
actually, it is. Yeah, it could be better, but the guy does a really good job.
does.
And
Does he?
Elton actually was pleased with the job that he did, and just the story. You know when you know somebody's backstory and you really hear it, it just gives more meaning to the music. And
Yeah.
I just love him anyway. I love the music, so
He was a
Did you
good
like it?
tortured
I liked
artist.
it. I did. And it's not like it's a, like, Freddie Mercury movie, how it was like kind of the documentary almost, talking through everything. It wasn't like that. It had a lot more elements to the movie.
it's more of a musical.
Yeah, kind of musical type.
Oh,
feel to
fun.
it. So
Yeah,
it's a lot
I've
of
been
fun.
telling everybody I watch all my movies on airplanes now.
Yeah, it's kind of it's
That's the only time I get to sit down and watch anything.
World traveler, yeah. So tell us about the new. You blew it out of the I mix my metaphors. Is that blew it out of the park, blew it out of the
Knocked it out of the
water,
park?
knocked it out of the park? I am a mixed metaphor person. But yeah, you knocked it out of the park with your Kickstart campaign for your newest project. Tell us about it.
Well, I actually didn't knock it out of the ballpark. The people who supported it actually did. I have to say,
because they support you. But yes,
I felt so supported. You're right, and I still have no words for it. I'm just like, all I could do is absorb what happened. Like in 48 hours, we reached our goal, and it was crazy. Like I remember talking to Rob, my husband, and going, God, I'm going to be asking for a lot of money, like this is more than what most people ask for, and he was like, just go for it, just do it. All you can do is not make your goal. And he was right. all I could do is not make my goal, but we doubled what we asked for. And
amazing.
That deck is, I had a private Facebook group where I would post all of the cards every time I would make a card. Mm-hmm. And I capped that. I was going to cap it at 100 people. And then about 200 people or more started, wanting to come into the group. And then I just capped it at that. I was like, nobody else can come in, because I wanted a group that would, kind of divine what they saw as the images came to them. Mm-hmm. But with an ancestral conversation happening, because the deck is called the Relative Tarot. Right. And what it does is its purpose, the goal behind it, besides being used as a straight up tarot deck, is that we can do ancestral work with it. Mm. So everybody was invited to view each image and talk about it from their ancestors' perspective. And in that conversation, we've been able to create a little white book that goes with it. Mm-hmm. So that's just been fantastic. So the deck is done. It's with the printer. We've had, I keep saying we've had 200 people help write the little white book. Awesome. And also on top of that, a lot of people sent in images of their own ancestors that I turned into cards. So not only is there a full-on tarot deck in there, there's another deck called the Spirit Card Oracle, and that's filled with people that know me or I know them, and they send in an image of one of their ancestors, and then I'll make a spirit card out of that.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's alive. It really does have that ancestral influence in there, which I love.
So when is that available, and how can people get it?
So we just finished the Kickstarter about 3 weeks ago now, and it's at the printer. And by the way, everybody who backed the campaign, thank you if you're listening, also makes them eligible for a 5-week online course on how to read the deck. And not only am I teaching, but I'm so excited that James Wells is teaching, mm-hmm. Sir James Wells, and Mary Greer. So living within the cards are the birth card numbers, and in fact, on all of the cards are the birth cards. And so we're going to be, kind of marrying, ancestral work with birth card work. So that's what that class includes. So once the decks are printed, we're only printing 500 of the decks. And so once those decks are printed, 1,000 of the decks. Once those decks are printed and out in the public, I think they'll be, after they go to all of our backers, I think they'll be available on my site like the end of October, early November. And that's how you can get them. So you got to kind of wait for that.
Can people pre-order if they didn't support the Kickstart? Or do
Nope.
they have to wait until October, November?
Yeah,
so you're going to be flooded at October, November.
That's the fair thing to do for Kickstarter. And whenever you do a campaign, you want people to support the campaign
Gotcha.
rather than say, I'm going to wait. And, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's smart. All right, Erica, what's the next thing we have going? Are we going to do
we are going to do this fun little quiz we have. You guys have your dry erase boards by you.
Oh, shit,
Carrie
we have a quiz?
Carrie has her paper.
Yeah, okay. So we wanted to just get to know just Carrie a little better and ourselves a little better.
I
Get to
wrote-
know myself.
Hang on a second. Hey,
Wait, what's
all right,
How long
so,
do we have?
we can go wherever, however. But Carol won the bracelets, but at the same time she was answering, she did answer first, and Karen also answered, and she thought she also was real close in there. So Carol said she wants the tourmaline bracelet and said that she wanted you to have the Soul Elton John bracelet
for Karen?
for Karen.
Oh, how nice of
Okay,
Carol.
Karen.
Thank
So,
you, Carol.
yeah.
Karen, nice.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
real
how
cool.
our community
Yeah,
works.
that's why
That's how it works.
my phone was buzzing, and I was like, "Good grief, Carol's already wanting to come and claim her bracelet." But no,
No,
she's
that's
wanting
nice
to,
of her.
she's wanting
Very
to give
nice
it
of
to the
Carol.
other person too, to Karen.
Nice.
perfect.
Way to go. Okay, so we can do a couple of these.
Yeah, we'll do a couple of these. So you guys, it'll be a quick answer. Write it on your dry erase board.
No cheating, Michelle.
No cheating off of each other.
I don't cheat.
All right. So the first question, what secret conspiracy would you like to start?
To start,
Yeah.
well, there already is one started. I wished I had started
Secret.
that one with Area 51 last week.
I don't even know anything about that, so you have to explain that.
Me neither. I want to know more about that. That
Yeah.
sounds kind of intriguing.
I'm going to come up with one. Let me think.
Okay, hold on. What secrets? It's a secret.
What secret conspiracy would
Conspiracy.
you like to start?
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Okay. I can get into that, I guess.
I think this will get you.
All right, Carrie, what do you have?
I have meta deck. I don't know if you can see that.
Meta deck.
Yeah. So my imagination just went to this weird place.
What is that?
Well, it would mean that meta means loving kindness. And it, it would mean that inside of every tarot deck is a hidden key, like there's a hidden passport or a key or an answer in there. And or it's encoded within the deck or something like that. And if you have the key, you will be able to unlock a parallel universe that shows us, I'm just making stuff up right now, that shows us how to be in meta, to be in loving kindness with everybody. And everybody drops what they're doing and they just achieve loving kindness and meta.
That is a nice conspiracy. That's really nice. I think that
Thank
it could
you.
be true because they scan my cards every time I go through security. So there's something going on with this tarot decks. I'm going to tell you that for sure.
What you
Roger,
got?
yeah.
My conspiracy is Roger is a robot.
Oh. Maybe.
Okay, what's yours?
Bigfoot elected president 2020.
Yes, he's got my vote.
Can't be any worse than what we got now.
Oh, you went there.
We don't
I
have one
didn't say
now.
it, y'all would have.
All right.
What's next? Make it easier.
All right. What would be the worst buy one, get one free sale of all time?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
I'm just not smart enough for this game.
These are hard questions, Michelle.
um,
But I just went into greed mode. I went from meta and loving kindness into total greed.
What did you put, Carrie?
My products. I'm not giving my stuff away.
There you go. That's right.
Except today.
That's very nice of you. Okay, I don't even know how you spell this, but nobody, because now I'm going to do it because I don't, everybody, just say it. Damn it. Is it MAGA? Make America Great Again hat.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. That
Well,
would be
we
bad.
could. That would actually be a pretty good one because we could send Carrie one.
Because that would double the production for sure.
How about pregnancy
Good one,
test?
Michelle. What is it? Oh my God.
Okay, so I want y'all to know that Roger, do we have another funny one?
We have one more.
One more funny one. So this,
God,
make
no.
1 second on this. So Roger bought at the dollar store, not pregnancy test,
Oh,
but drug test
a Dollar Tree.
at the
$1
Dollar Tree.
Oh, those
So
are gonna
like,
work.
who thinks those are really going to work? So he comes home to the kids and he goes,
threatened
nobody better be doing anything
they're gonna be
shady because
spot
these are
checking.
here for any given time. And I'm like, they're from the dollar store. Don't worry.
Party on, kids.
All
You're
right.
safe.
What's the next one?
All right, our last question. What set of items could you buy to make a cashier the most uncomfortable?
Do we keep it clean?
I'm not.
This is clean.
Why?
Wait, is it
Why?
wait?
Michelle.
Cashier like Walmart or cashier like a Condom Sense?
Let's do Walmart
Okay.
and then see what
better.
you can
All the
come up
better.
with.
Could you repeat the question, please?
What set of items could you buy to make a cashier the most uncomfortable?
Like an axe. You go up to the register with an axe in a book with the title of something like How to Bury a Body.
There you go. That's it. She, ding, ding, ding. That's better. I can't think of anything.
Roger, did you have something?
I got
He's channeling.
kind of the same thing. Duct tape, Vaseline, lime.
I'm in. Sign me up.
I don't get the line.
When you hide the body, you hide it in lime.
Oh, that kind of lime. I thought you meant
Tequila.
Lime?
tequila.
Why the hell would you buy lime for
She would,
that?
she would think that.
That's what I thought
This
you meant.
this girl knows how to party.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. We got what? Oh, we got another giveaway.
Yay.
All right. So now, and Carrie's giving
You know
away.
what? I don't want to be on this. I don't want to be on the host on this show anymore. I want to be watch the show because
So
I
you
want to
can
win
win?
stuff.
Oh, that's okay.
I want to play along.
All right. Y'all
All right.
better get ready fast
Ready?
on this one to
You
give
ready?
away.
Okay, y'all get ready.
Okay. So Carrie's giving away the Malargo, one of the Malargo kits.
So I want to say this. Thank you. And everybody we have on the show is so great, but we've never asked anybody to do this, and Carrie just volunteered, and I thought that was really,
She's
really,
always
really
good about
nice.
that.
She is
always great
so
about that.
generous.
You guys, thank you. This is
her-
so much fun.
Beautiful Milagro kit. How are they going to win?
Here's how you're going to win. So Carrie just told us a story about the Malargos.
Milagro.
Milagros.
Milagro.
All right. So
miracles.
now this is what they look like. But originally, what did they actually start out as? So you
good
need to tell us what they started as originally. And we are watching. I see Erica over there, both phones on her hand, watching it. And both phones and the computer. That's it.
Leslie said
Leslie.
paintings. Is that right, Carrie?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes.
Is that Leslie with the Z? Leslie with the Z, your biggest fan besides us of all time.
She can't
Yes.
keep
There you go.
playing.
Leslie
She is
got
a
it.
Send her
super
one anyway.
fan. She's going to own, well, you gave that
Everything.
praise, but she's going to own Soultopia before too long because she wins
Right.
everything. She's
Right. And
awesome.
She watches.
She would
she's
be
very-
great.
She watches faithfully.
Yes,
So
she does.
That
do
was so close. There were 5 different people that answered, but Leslie's came in like a
Oh, you know
Aw.
what? You know what? I'll give 5 of those away. I'll give 5 to those people because that's awesome.
Carrie.
Thank you guys for being here. That's just
Aw.
incredible.
Were there really 5 that
So,
close?
Get their names for us, will you?
Okay, let's
Erica,
read
would you
their. Can we
mind?
say their names on the air?
Taylorina,
Taylorina,
Okay.
Karen,
Karen,
Eloy,
Eloy, Eloy.
Yep.
somebody else on YouTube, Camp Grace Ann.
And I love this because somebody else was on YouTube. Thank you for being on YouTube.
Actually,
Camp Grace Ann
And Leslie was on YouTube.
and Leslie was on
Awesome.
YouTube.
Got a lot of people on YouTube.
And a lot of people are listening on YouTube tonight. Thanks because yeah, so cool. Awesome, you guys. And we are out of time. So no, you know what?
Oh.
No reading. So guess what that means?
Carrie has to come back.
Carrie has to come back.
I'll come back.
Hold
I
up,
wanna-
wait.
I'll come back and I'll go there and I'll sit between you guys and we'll all do it together.
Let's
sometime.
do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Next time we're together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you can't see this on the video. There's Zotar you sent me right up there in the corner, though.
Where?
You can't
I only
see
see
it, but
myself, which is really
Zoltar's-
bizarre.
So
Zoltar.
Oh,
Zotar's
cool. I
back
see
here
him.
in
Yeah.
the
Oh,
corner.
good. He works.
Yes,
Yes.
he does. So we were in San Francisco, and so I don't know if you remember the story of before we bought Zoltar, I got tickets when we were looking at him, and he kept telling me, Zoltar kept saying, you need to listen to this person that's telling you something, and you are.
And when you open your mouth, you're not as smart as you sound.
Yeah, it says he said something like, when you
No.
open your mouth, you need to close it. You're not as smart as you sound, and listen to the other person who's smarter than you. Zoltar was really pretty rude to me. Then I thought,
Really?
well, I'm gonna go to the other guy, and so went to the other guy in the box, not the Zoltar, but the one that's not as politically appropriate these days. And I went to him, and he said the same dadgum thing. So we went to, in San Francisco. We found a Zoltar. It was a little bit smaller one, but he was an original. I put my money in, and Dad. Nabbit.
Say it,
If that
say it.
thing didn't say the exact same message. So then I found Confucius.
Oh, no,
And
that's
Confucius
so bad.
said, and it was
That's so
just
bad.
like big, he didn't tell me. Confucius was smart because I think I would have bammed Confucius glass or something, but Confucius like wouldn't take my dollar. I tried it.
For 15 minutes, you tried to put
First
your
of all,
dollar
I
in
was
there.
putting it in the ticket thing, which you're not supposed to do. And Roger finally goes, that's not where you put your money in, Michelle. So finally I put it in the money
I got video
slot.
of it. She wouldn't
He
let me
videoed the
actually-
whole thing.
She won't let me post it, but if
that's
anybody wants me to
blackmail
DM
there.
that video to them, I will.
Yeah, it was me for like a long time trying to put it in where the tickets go, and then finally I put it in, where you're supposed to put it in.
Yeah.
Reject. If y'all remember the movie, they would only take certain
Yeah.
people's,
Right.
So I thought, well, Confucius says Michelle doesn't know where to put the money, but once she did, he's going to keep his mouth shut and not say anything rude. So anyway, but yes, we love our Zoltar, and he is
Good.
on our set every time.
May he only say nice things to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks,
and we
you guys.
really
It's so good to
appreciate
see
it.
you. I love you guys.
We-
You guys are wonderful.
We love you too. So, seriously,
Yep.
thank you. And you have like so many mega fans here. So everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I'm a
thanks
fan
for coming
too.
on. Roger, you want
You
to
guys.
Okay.
take us out?
So that's it for this week. Thanks to our guest, Carrie Paris. Please be sure to follow us and like So What on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Facebook, at Michelle Soultopia on YouTube. And thank you for listening to So What, where we discuss and you decide what is important to your soul. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day.